You know how many celebrities went to Diddy's house? Thinking they was finna dance?
He invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach.
To be gay in Hollywood, you never expected. They be having these big mansion parties, and the mansion party, the whole mansion is a party, and then it's a separate party in the little room. Come here. Is that two niggas kissing?
Katt Williams just jumped into the drama after Terrence Howard's wild comments about Diddy, and now he's pulling back the curtain on why Hollywood allegedly tried to shut Terrence down. Terrence recently got real on the PBD Podcast, dropping some serious truth bombs about how certain celebrities had to give up their man card just to climb the ladder in the industry. But here's the twist. Katt Williams was calling this out way before anyone else. Folks clowned him back then, calling him crazy. But now, looks like he wasn't lying after all. Word on the street is that these two might be cooking something up together. There's even talk of a podcast that could spill some next-level Hollywood secrets. Can you imagine the tea if Katt and Terrence actually teamed up to expose all the behind-the-scenes madness at those Diddy parties? Especially all the whispers about what people had to do just to stay in the spotlight? So what did Katt actually say about Terrence and Diddy? And are we really about to see these two link up and start naming names? The whole situation is getting wild fast. Let's dive into the details and unpack this madness.
How does that feel? You a grown-ass man. You gotta leave Diddy party like that. You can't even sit down in the car. You gotta drive all the way home, standing up.
Do all those things. When you give up those things, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties.
But that wasn't even the wildest part.
That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Get punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once you go fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from. So maintain your man card, no matter what.
Terrence took it all the way there, saying straight up that the same thing happened with a bunch of celebs who've been spotted partying with Diddy over the years.
You see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything. If I get all the Nobel Prizes from doing all of this, but in the process I have to trade out all of my integrity to do it so that they can stay in place, what benefit is that if I lose my integrity? You got to go in as a principal.
Then came the real shocker. Terrence claimed Diddy actually tried to make a move on him. He said it started off real smooth, like Diddy was looking for an acting coach, then switched up pretending to be into his music. But here's the kicker. Terrence's assistant caught wind of what was really going on and warned him. Once he found out Diddy's real motives, Terrence cut ties immediately.
Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there, just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to.
And it wasn't just Diddy. Terrence dropped more heat, saying there were other top-level producers trying the same shady stuff, sliding in with weird offers and fake support. But Terrence stood his ground. He wasn't with it and shut it all down quick.
To be hands-off with somebody. A number of producers coming to make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you like, or looking at you like you're a woman. You know, when you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the...
Still, he kept it real, saying that rejecting all that mess definitely cost him some big-time gigs in Hollywood, but he wasn't about to sell himself out just for a check. Now you already know the internet exploded after that interview went viral. People were shook, especially since we barely ever hear A-listers speak on stuff like this. To straight up say that Diddy tried to smash, that's bold, but Terrence ain't the first one to speak up. Way before anyone else dared to say it, Katt Williams was out here sounding the alarm about Diddy, and barely anybody took him seriously. Katt once told Fat Joe that Diddy even invited him out for a private dinner, but Katt had to shut that down real quick.
I owe you a dinner, man. I obviously can't afford to get anything else.
Like I told Puffy, I don't let men take me out, sir. I'm good. I'll do no dinner.
Then during his viral interview on Club Shay Shay last year, Katt didn't hold back. He said Diddy made multiple moves on him, and each time Katt had to curve him.
And that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting the body. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them so freely.
Can I need to know?
Now with Terrence Howard stepping up and revealing that he had to do the same, cut Diddy off after things got weird, Katt is standing right beside him, showing him major love and backing him up hard. And here's where it gets real spicy. There's talk floating around that Katt and Terrence might team up for a podcast and start spilling every last bit of tea they've been holding back. Nothing's official just yet, but fans are already losing their minds. Just imagine the kind of bombshells they could drop if they sat down with no filter. One fan on X said, "Will someone please put Terrence Howard and Katt Williams together in a room?" Another added, "Gotta love Terrence Howard and Katt Williams. He's of the same mindset." And they're not wrong. These two clearly see eye to eye when it comes to calling out shady Hollywood behavior. If this podcast actually happens, it might just shake up the whole industry. Katt and Terrence are clearly locked in on the same mission, calling out what they believe is a deep-rooted agenda in the entertainment world aimed at breaking down black men. You've probably already heard Katt reignite that heated convo about Hollywood supposedly pushing black male actors to wear dresses before they can hit that A-list spotlight. Now insiders are saying Terrence Howard might have ended up blacklisted because he refused to go along with that script. Literally. He wasn't about to put on a dress just to climb higher in the game, and apparently Hollywood wasn't feeling that. But here's the thing, this conversation ain't new. A whole lineup of black comedians and actors have already called it out. Take Eddie Griffin, for example. He was one of the first to throw serious shade at the industry over this whole dress-wearing expectation. Back in 1999, Eddie dropped some real talk in his movie Foolish, which he starred in and wrote himself. In the film, he plays Miles Foolish Ways, a young comic trying to break into the Hollywood scene. And get this, there's a crazy scene where studio execs try to pressure his character into putting on a dress for a role, saying, "All the A-listers have done it."
So what do you think? It's never been done before. 3 lovable drag queens driving cross-country, helping middle America solve its problems.
Y'all want me to wear a dress?
Foolish. This isn't a throwaway role. You'll be carrying the emotional energy of the movie.
Man, it's not that I don't appreciate the offer, because I do, but there's a lot of money involved.
We're talking a major motion picture here, Foolish.
I don't know, man.
Harrison.
That's Harrison. So I guess that's me.
Yep. That's it. Yeah. Love it.
I ain't feeling that, man. Oh. Can I just say something that every actor probably want to say to a couple of gentlemen like yourselves?
Sure. Anything you want to say? Go ahead.
Yeah. Kiss my black.
That moment hit hard, not just as a joke, but as a not-so-subtle dig at what was really happening behind the scenes. Now let's rewind to 2006. Dave Chappelle hit Oprah's couch and dropped a bombshell. He told a wild story about how he was allegedly pressured to wear a dress for a movie role with Martin Lawrence. And the way Dave described it, it sounded exactly like that scene in Foolish.
That should have been in the discussion. What? You don't feel comfortable with it? I mean, it's a hilarious bit. All the greats have done it.
Straight up deja vu. Then came Kevin Hart. When he was asked about Dave's story, he brushed it off like it was no big deal, claimed he'd never been in that kind of situation.
Definitely haven't ran into to put on the dress. I mean, you have to have boundaries. You have to have limits that you refuse to cross.
But not long after, boom, Kevin pops up in an SNL sketch wearing a dress. And guess what? That moment completely flipped his career. His fame shot through the roof, and people started whispering that maybe, just maybe, that dress was the turning point that Hollywood needed to see. But the story doesn't end there. Katt Williams came right back into the mix, throwing fire on the whole dress talk, saying it's not just about roles, it's about who you're willing to dance with behind the scenes. According to Katt, this all ties back to whether you're playing nice with the so-called Illuminati or not.
So, some of us make choices. I think it's not a biggest choice for others. I'm saying at the end of the day, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress wearing people before him. So now we have Big Mama's house 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. I've never seen Madea in a pantsuit. I think she wears dresses. So now I'm saying, why are we picking on poor little Kevin Hart? Because it was his turn next. Okay. Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them.
People used to call him crazy for saying that. But now, with all these patterns popping up and more celebs speaking out, folks are starting to think Katt might have been onto something, especially after his interview last year on Club Shay Shay, where he doubled down on it all. He even said Martin Lawrence tried to put him in a dress for Big Mama's house. But Katt wasn't having it. He turned it down, and when he did, Brandon T. Jackson swooped right in and took the role. Coincidence? Or another piece of a much bigger puzzle? Now swinging it back to Terrence Howard, there's fresh buzz going around that the whole refuse to wear a dress situation might be a big reason why he got blacklisted in Hollywood. People used to say he got dropped from Iron Man 2 because he was difficult or had anger issues, but Terrence, he's not letting that narrative fly. He straight up shut those rumors down and said what really went down had more to do with him not letting Hollywood reshape how a black man should act or look on screen. According to him, if you're a black actor trying to rise up, the industry tries to push you into playing soft feminine roles, and Terrence wasn't about to fold for that. He said, my daddy taught me, never take the vertebrae out of your back or the base out of your throat. I ain't raising sheep, I raised men. Stay a man. That quote hit hard. Then he added that everything's becoming androgynous these days, and the men at the top, they're the effeminate ones. But that wasn't even the end of it. In another recent interview, Terrence doubled down, saying Hollywood has a serious issue with strong black men. He pointed out that only white men seem to get to be both strong and non-threatening. He said, the man has been dehumanized. And now, the new blueprint is to make men more submissive, to strip away their power and confidence. He said, they allow white men to be strong, but when black men show strength, it's a threat. And he didn't stop there. He added, I'm not about to remove a few chromosomes just to fit someone's script. They need to expand their stories to let men be men and still celebrate the beauty of women. As expected, social media is on fire over this one. Fans are divided, but one thing's for sure, Terrence is not holding back. And now things are heating up even more because Terrence isn't just talking, he's putting action behind his words. In a recent sit-down, he revealed that after getting pushed out of major projects and losing out on big roles, he decided to stop chasing the industry and start creating his own lane. Terrence said he's done begging Hollywood for validation. Instead, he's focusing on independent projects where he calls the shots and doesn't have to compromise who he is. He's producing, directing, and even writing, building a platform where other artists who feel boxed in can finally break free. And guess who's been spotted linking up with him lately? Katt Williams. Yep, word is Katt has been in talks with Terrence behind the scenes, and fans are already speculating that these two might be planning something major, like a raw, no-holds-barred docuseries that pulls the curtain all the way back on how the game really works. Insiders say both Katt and Terrence have been collecting receipts for years, emails, texts, shady offers, all of it. If they decide to drop that, it could be the most explosive expose Hollywood's ever seen. People online are calling them the duo we didn't know we needed, and begging them to go live together, start a podcast, or even drop a tell-all book. One post said, if Katt and Terrence start talking, some powerful people might start sweating real quick. With all the smoke surrounding the entertainment industry right now, allegations, manipulation, secrets behind closed doors, it's no surprise that more stars might start speaking out. And if Katt and Terrence lead the charge, buckle up, because the entire game might just get flipped on its head. Now, of course, not everyone's buying what Terrence and Katt are selling. Some folks are calling them conspiracy theorists, saying they're stuck on the wrong issue, that there are bigger things going on in the world than actors wearing dresses. They think Katt and Terrence are just stirring the pot for attention. But on the flip side, there's a massive wave of support coming in. Fans are praising them for having the guts to say what everyone else in Hollywood is too scared to admit. People are calling them truth tellers, saying they're finally pulling the mask off the industry's shady underbelly. And now, the same fans are hoping these two officially team up and take it even further. Drop more names, more stories, more receipts. So what do you think? Are Katt and Terrence just stirring drama to stay relevant? Or are they actually exposing a side of Hollywood that's been hidden for way too long? Are they waking people up or just chasing clout? We want to hear from you. Hit the comments and tell us your take. Are you team truth or team tired of it? And hey, if you made it this far, you already know what to do. Smash that like button, share this video with someone who needs to see it, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next round of tea. Catch you on the next one.